Black Myth Wukong, baby.
I'm rewatching the trailer right now.
Final trailer.
It's so good.
Oh my goodness gracious, dude. The wait that we've had for this game, man, just the random trailer that dropped in good old August 2020. I think it was IGN that had the first report on it.
It wasn't
And
even
man,
necessarily
just the ride since.
It wasn't even necessarily a trailer. It was like a tech demo.
Yeah.
Where they're like,
here's the game and works. Here's what
it's
we're
like,
kind of where we're going.
Because it was like, it's like, hey, here's early Black Myth Wukong. It's like, the fuck is that?
Yeah. Like, what are we looking at?
Dude, this trailer is so good.
It's also really scary. There was a lot of insects in that trailer. That's going to scare me for the game.
Yeah, it looked like there's at least one big spider boss.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was one portion where there was like a bunch of baby spiders everywhere. Did I see that right?
I haven't come across that.
Okay, I think that's in the trailer.
Like rewatching this yet?
I saw a giant like praying mantis, so that should be fun. We'll get through it.
I don't know. It's one of those where, for the most part, I think the game, like I fucking hate spiders, but it's one of those where sometimes the game can take you away from it.
Right.
And I'm hoping that it does.
Yeah, same.
God, this game looks so great.
It does.
It's so pretty.
It looks phenomenal from a graphical standpoint. Just the fluidity of it and just how well everything kind of pieces together. Looks fantastic. The combos, all the different actions that you can do, the weapons. I mean, they showed off a new weapon today with the fire staff.
Dude,
it just looks awesome.
all the transformations too
look insane. You see, like the one where he's like got like tentacles coming off his back, whatever.
That
was crazy.
That one freaked me out a little bit.
It did me too. That was crazy.
More so than that, I think I'm coming up on the point in the trailer where it's like it almost like transformed to like a wolf running around.
Yeah.
That I saw that and I'm like, the fuck?
Right.
But yeah, it's like that's more so than like, because we know we've seen like what looked to be like stance changing and like different weapon effects and stuff like that before. More so than that, I think the transformations are going to be one of the more fun and interesting ways to like for combat to work. Just because at this point we've seen a bunch of them.
Oh my god, yeah. Isn't there supposed to be like I thought they gave us a number on how many transformations there were. I don't want to say a wrong number and be horribly wrong. Let me look it up. Let's see, Black Myth Wukong transformations. Transformations count. 72.
Yeah.
72 transformations. Shout out to that.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's one of those where depending on how long it or how early you can get all of those, or like at what point you get all those, it'll just make. Because I assume there's some where like obviously you transform like some sort of wolf thing and to move around quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what all they're gonna be like because we've seen crazy ones. We've seen them as weird as like transforming into like legs with a rock head,
right?
And just
looks insane
and just slamming down. And it's like it just. And now we've got like the weird tentacles coming out of the back and like flinging stuff around. Man, it looks insane.
Like just the sheer amount of like creativity that this game's got and just everything they've got going on. Like, dude, it's insane. The scale for it. You know, that's the word I'm looking for. Just the scale of everything they've put into this game looks absolutely insane. Because like, you know, thankfully for us, it's not a Souls game. It's more in line with like what God of War 2018 and Ragnarok is, which love that. Here for that. That's going to be great. But just like the scale they've gone for, man, like just including like everything that Wukong has had throughout all versions of story, like, dude, like they've knocked it out of the park. Like game looks great. Like I said, it looks fluid. The gameplay looks incredible. It just looks fun. That's the thing. The game just looks like you're gonna be able to turn it on and just have a good damn time.
In the trailer, like in this final trailer, there's one shot in particular where I got so excited the first time I watched it, and I was like, oh, come on, do it. And it's like when it's first showing you the snowy landscape, and he's standing over like the frozen over pond. He's like standing on the edge of it, and when it starts panning across before you actually see the top down shot, I'm like, oh, something come bursting out of that pond.
Right.
Something come just flying out of there right now. And it cuts to the top view, and you just see the pulsing red. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Like, dude, my hype levels for the game, like, it was already extremely high. I mean, I came in, into the year saying over and over again, this is my most anticipated game of the year. But now that we are 10 days away at the time of this podcast, like, from the game's release, like, I didn't want to take any time off work for this, but I might have to, even though it's a Tuesday, and I hate that so much. I'm going to have to take some time off for this
I'm
game.
considering taking the end of the week off.
Yeah, I might take the end of the week off.
I've been in an interesting place with the Black Myth, because last year I got burned a lot being excited for games.
That's fair. You did.
I've controlled my excitement for this game to where I'm like, it's coming out. It's like every time you've mentioned to me when I've seen you, you've been like, all right, we're 28 days or we're 42 days or something away. I'm like, cool, we'll get there when we get there.
Yep.
Just being like, it'll come out and I'll play it.
Yep.
That changed with this trailer.
That changed.
This trailer came out and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
When was the last time you were this excited for a game? Like, would it be just Ragnarok for you?
No, because Ragnarok wasn't one that I necessarily, the excitement kept growing for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because it was one where I had a general idea of where it was going to go.
Right.
And I knew it was coming. And then, like, I was like, okay, I mean, they blew my mind with 2018. Mm-hmm. I'm just ready for them to do that again. So I was like, I was ready the entire time.
Right.
This has been one where it's weird because
you're trying not to think about it. So it's like almost time goes by quicker.
Also, it's like trying not to think about it, but also we've been waiting on this game to come out for 4 years.
Yeah.
With updates once a year.
Every August, baby. Black Myth month.
We'd see an update once a year, and it would be just a new. It was almost like, here's an updated version of that trailer.
Yeah,
it
was at times. I mean, we got some feature length stuff. Like, there was the one trailer, like I think 2022, where he fought the dragon in the snow area. Like, we got stuff like that, but there was always tidbits that were in the previous trailers. Because it was just an update. Like, here's a graphical update.
Showing, hey, here's what it used to look like. Now look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember back when like the first one came out, me complaining about some of the graphics and how it looked at that. Now I watch this trailer and I'm like, this looks like the best fucking game ever.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's weird to say because I wouldn't say that this is the most excited I've ever been for a game.
That's fair. I can agree to that too.
But it's probably the most excited I've been for a game that I'm pretty sure is going to blow my mind since 2018.
Oh, here we go.
Because it was the last. I mean, it was God of War 2018 that did it to me. Yeah. Because like I said, Ragnarok, I just expected them to do it again, just more.
Right.
But it really was that 2018 God of War, which was the last one where I was like, this excited for something that I'm expecting to just blow me away. Mm-hmm. Which is a different level of just pure excitement. Right. I was more excited for some games that came out last year than I am right now for Black Myth.
Okay, that's fair.
But because those were unknowns to me. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, from everything I've seen, it should be what we're expecting it to be.
Yeah. Now that you've phrased your answer in that way, you've been making me rack my brain of where it's like, well, shit, what would compare to Black Myth for me? Because when I asked the question to you, my first thought was, Yeah, the last one that I was probably just as excited for like this as I was then would probably be like Spider-Man 2, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, those two for sure. Tears of the Kingdom, even though I was kind of quiet hype leading up to it, Horizon Forbidden West, but then you put it's just like, well, I know what Ragnarok's going to give me. Like this, I was like, oh, well, fuck, and that kind of terminology, I don't know what the hell mine would be. I have to really date this thing back a little bit.
Yeah, because
that's fair, because I know what all those games I just said were going to give me.
Yeah, it's been a weird level of controlled excitement on my part, which is more of a direction I'm trying to trend.
Yeah.
Instead of just
over the top.
Yeah, instead of over the top. Mainly a lesson from last year.
Yeah. Trust me, I took some lessons from last year in gaming too. I bought a lot of games last year and did not beat them. I did it for the sake of the show, but it still cost me a lot of money. Oh, lessons learned. But no, I mean, like my hype levels, man, they are at an all-time high after that trailer. I mean, just that final cherry on top, leading us up to this release. Like, dude, I'm just, it needs to hurry up. Like, cause I'm with you. You're right. Like all those other games that I named, like, I knew what I was getting myself into. I know what kind of the direction of what, one of them being just a collection remasters, right? Yeah, I knew where the direction of 3 of those games were going and stuff, but like this one, it's like it's just it's just gonna be fun, and it's like there's a lot of unknowns to it, and that just makes it even more exciting.
Yeah, it's like we've gotten to see at this point a decent amount.
Yeah,
we've gotten to see boss fights. We've gotten to see running around in the open. We've gotten to see like somewhat how like quests and stuff work in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, it's like, okay, all right. I was sold 4 years ago, and now it's just we're 10 days away.
Right.
So, yeah, just bring it on at this point.
Right. Any predictions on like any review scores and stuff? Like, how do you think this game's gonna do?
I've already predicted this game of the year.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree.
No, in our yearly predictions, I predicted this game of the year.
Yeah, you did. Like, what do you think it's going to do on like Metacritic and stuff? I'd like to think at least 90. 89, 88.
Okay. 93.
93. Like to hear it.
I was in my head, I was like, it's got to be low 90s. I was settling on 92, and then just a little corner of my brain went 93.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, going there.
I'm feeling 90, which, I mean, that's a great review score. And man, like, I hope in terms of like media and stuff, like I really do hope that it knocks it out of the park in that regard, so it can have that opportunity to be a Game of the Year nominee.
Have you seen like there's been like the
growing hype?
Gotten to play the first 2 hours or something of it. Apparently, the first 2 hours is pretty incredible.
Oh yeah, no, like the conversation around the game, like me and you, we chat about this like over a month, 2 months ago, where it's like there was conversation around it, but not as much as like what we do here on this show, right? The conversation was there, but it wasn't as powerful. Over the last 2 months, the conversation has gotten very powerful.
Well, it's like Summer Game Fest came back around and showed it off, and people are like, oh, this game looks cool, but where's the gameplay? It's
I know. It's like, what do you mean?
And it's like, what do you mean, what's the gameplay? It took us 3 years to get gameplay.
Yeah, dude. It's just like, well, it's like, I'm a little worried about this game. They didn't show gameplay. It's coming out in 2 months. It's like, there's like 2 hours worth of gameplay online, bro.
It's just one of those where it's like, it was known about by people who went looking for it. Because it's one of those where it's like, I didn't know about it the moment it came out. I mean, it's weird to say because like from videos and stuff that I watched around the time the first tech demo and that came out, or like gameplay trailer demo thing that was their first video of it.
Yep.
I mean, it's weird to say it just from having seen videos, but it's kind of like you heard whispers about it. And then you finally find your way to the video and you go, oh, it's this.
Yeah.
And then just over the years, we just got about 2 years in, we went, oh, August.
Yeah, exactly. It was so funny when like it was like revealed and stuff. Because at this point you had moved out because like I took over your old room as the pod studio, and it just got brought up in conversation between you and I this game, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm really excited for that. It's like, oh, so you know about it? Here we go.
Yeah, I think we were just, it was like conversation of like, oh, hey man, have you heard any like what games are you excited for? It's like, I saw a trailer for this game that's like early on. It was Black something.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how the conversation went. I'm like, Black Myth Wukong.
But yeah, no, this game looks incredible. Like I said, I've read some stuff from people who've gotten their hands on the first 2 hours of it or so, and it from everything I've heard with that, it makes me think that because there's some times when games are going to get sent out where people who are reviewing it, yeah, they're going to try to get as far in as they can with stuff. Sometimes that's going to be difficult with certain games,
Right.
whether it be just you're not vibing with it or something. But from what I've heard about the first 2 hours of this game, it sounds like everybody's vibing with it.
Yeah, everyone's loving it.
Everybody's loving it, which I think is only gonna make those scores rise.
Yeah, which, and you're right, because I haven't seen any negative conversation around it so far besides the people that just don't know about it. Which, like we pick fun at them and stuff, but like if you don't know about it, haven't been in your radar, I guess that's fine. You know what I mean? I get it. But I mean, like, anyone that knows about it, has been following it, and ever got the chance to play those first few hours, like I've seen no negative conversation, which that's what you want leading up to a game. You don't want any negative conversation. You don't want the conversation around Concord, before it comes out this month if it's still coming out. You don't want that, right? And also just to give some further backing that like we have been on this shit since it's revealed. I pulled up the old episode list of this podcast, this exact what's the word, pod whatever, that you put your pod out on all the different platforms. Episode 17 of this is when it was still on, the show was under an old name. Black Myth Wukong is going to be Game of the Year was the name of that episode. August 31st 2020 is when that episode was posted. We've been on this shit since then. Granted, he wasn't on the show at the time, but we have been on this shit since that date. Like, it's that old, man. Shout out to the old podcast name. I won't say it out loud because it's stupid. But
yeah, that's kind that's
you can go listen to the episode to figure out the episode name if you want. The pod name. You go check it out. Go boost my numbers.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Like, even back then.
Dude, yes. Because that was after the first trailer, and I titled an episode in 2020, Black Myth Wukong will be Game of the Year. Episode 17 of the show. Like, shout out, man. We're on 183.
Hey, cut forward to the year that it's finally coming out, and only one of us backed that title name.
Right. That's true. That's true. Oh, man. Again, 10 days away, man. Hype is at an all-time high for this dude. Man, I can't wait. I mean, expectations, I do expect it to... I expect it to take the media by storm quite a bit over the course of this month and into next month. Because especially with, like, the game schedule we've got coming up, like, I don't see anything that's going to derail it, I mean, the most notable game to come out after it right now until we get to the fall is, I say notable because it is notable and there's conversation around it, is Star Wars Outlaws, and that's not even going to come close to it.
I have a feeling the first couple days of the release is going to be the discovery of the game. Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be like a rock going downhill. Where it's like,
that's fair.
It's going to come out and everybody who's been excited for it is going to just play it and start talking about it. Mm-hmm. And then it's like people are going to hear about it. They're going to start looking into it. And it's just going to be like a whoosh.
Yep. It's going to take off like a dang rocket, dude. Oh, God. Man, I'm so excited. Like I said, I'm thinking about taking off some work for it. I haven't decided for sure yet, because I'm trying to save on my PTO for a couple weeks here at the end of the year. But I really want to take some days off for it. I want to so damn bad. I hate that it comes out on a Tuesday. I'm so mad about it.
It's a weird day, but it's also, there's no competition.
I mean, that's true. That's true. You come out that day, you do your thing. I'm also trying to get the boys over at ATFS to hook me up and do the show on Monday. I told them up front, hey, I want to play Black Myth Wukong that Tuesday. If we can not do a terrible football show, I'd appreciate that. I'm trying to push to Monday right now if I can. I'm hoping not. If not, I guess you can catch me live at right here at. And actually, no, I'm not even gonna say catch me live here at Sparky 3. I got to promote the new channel. You can catch me live on youtube.com/ATSN SE3, a terrible sports network. Catch me live there potentially that day. Hopefully not. I want to play Black Myth.
You'll just move everything out here, and they'll be talking about it. You'll just be sitting there like staring intently at a TV set right in front of you.
Oh yeah, I know. And like that episode will be NFC predictions, and it's just like, all right, Alex, how do you think your Chicago Bears gonna do? Yeah, 10 wins. Yeah, we'll say
Yeah,
that.
you'll just like pull up the whiteboard, and it's like whenever they ask you a question, just move it up slightly for the next answer.
Yeah, it's just like put on the whiteboard. It's just like Eagles. Here's their record. Whatever. All right, so let's see this boss. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Anything else you want to shout with Black Myth?
If anybody listening hasn't, if you're listening and you haven't heard about the game, maybe this is your first time viewing us. As he mentioned earlier, pulling up a podcast from 4 years ago.
Bingo.
We've been saying this is going to be like game of the year since we got the first piece of information about it. I think this game is going to be incredible. I think this game should kind of take over the gaming sphere for a while.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard about it, or you've heard about it and haven't looked into it, just go dig into it a little bit. Go watch some videos of it. This game is going to be incredible.
Yeah. This should be a Game of the Year nominee. It should, and it should win Game of the Year. Let's go. 10 days away.